Well, hello.
Hi.
I think we have some very excited people here to see you. Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Welcome to AOL Build.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm seeing one of my friends who just had foot surgery and she's here today. I can't believe you're here.
Well, you have many people who come through hell and high water to see you no matter what they can do. That's what's wonderful about this. We are here in celebration of her new album, Coming Home.
Thank you.
And home means so many different things to so many different people. For you, it's quite complicated. I love what you say about this CD. You say there's no album that you've done that encompasses all that you are, all who you are, until this one. Tell us about that.
You know, a lot of times as artists, when you make an album, it's kind of where you are in your place at that time. And that's been the case with me. My first album was, big Broadway, full orchestra, what people really wanted from me. My second album was a Christian inspirational album, which I loved and had always wanted to do. The third one was Christmas, because I'm a Christmas nut. And the fourth one was country music, which was a huge influence on me growing up. But this album, I thought, I want to kind of do a career album. Songs that have meant something that I've been singing for a long time, and then stuff that no one would expect me to do that I do in concert. And then it came to, where do you want to do it? And I wanted to go back home. I could have filmed it. I love Carnegie Hall, and I love, Royal Albert. I've loved the places I've gotten to perform, but how can I not go back to the theater in Oklahoma?
Not just any theater, her theater, the Kristin Chenoweth Theater.
Thank you.
Which is incredible.
No pressure.
No, here's the thing. I'm a small town girl myself, so I know what it's like to go back. Did you have to make sure you weren't too big for your britches? Because people will call you out.
They call you out all the time, which is why I love it. They're like, oh, honey, you got to wait in line. Got to get back in line there. And it just makes me feel like I'm at home. But also the love I felt. I was extremely nervous to perform in front of people who've watched me grow up. Well, not really grow, but, watch me as my life has gone on. Church friends, cheerleader friends, ex-boyfriends, teachers, it was crazy. And my parents were sitting in the front row, and my family was there. It's way more nerve-wracking than Carnegie Hall.
Absolutely, because these people keep it real. Talk to us about your 90-year-old singing mentor. She was right there in that audience, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yes,
she
was.
Talk about coming hell or high water. She came, and one of the things when I heard she was coming, I did a song that I tried to do in college, and it's called My Coloring Book. It's by Candid. And when I sang it in college at masterclass, which is where we sing in front of our peers and get critiqued, mainly by her, she said, I was 19, and I was so excited to sing it, and I began, and she stopped me, and she said, no, you don't understand what you're singing about. So one day when you do, I invite you to pull out the song and try it again. So I've been singing it on tour for 2 years because unfortunately and fortunately, I now understand what it means. And she didn't know I was going to do it. So I pulled out the music. I said, Florence, I'm going to do the song that you told me to put away because I get it now. But I'll be anxious to see what you think. So I sang it. And the camera panned back to her, and she gave me a thumbs up.
And that's the kind of love you only get when you come home.
Yeah.
And it's not just about coming home and being yourself. It's also about inspiring a new generation, new people from this area who want to aspire to be like you, who have big dreams. That's why it's so wonderful that you included the choir, because these people might one day, the circle might continue, and they might have their own theater in Broken Arrow.
That's what it's all about. And the older I get, the more I realize that's what it's all about, And how I want to be remembered and how I want my mark to be left on this earth. And maybe there's another little Kristin Chenoweth. We couldn't afford to go see Broadway. We didn't even have a theater. We had to drive to Tulsa to see anything. So now the shows that come through town, the Broadway shows and other acts, go to the Kristin Chenoweth Theater, which is cool.
And when people come to listen to you, they understand that your journey has been one filled with magic, not just on screen, but in the things that happen to you. One of the things people admire about you most is you talk about your gut. You talk about listening to your gut. You hear it in your music and you see it in your journey about making the choices that might not always seem right to everyone else, but are perfect for you.
Thank you for bringing that up. It's, I call it God. Some people call it inner voice. I call it my inner voice too. Sometimes, especially in this industry, in any industry actually, especially with what we're doing and multitasking and doing 5 things at the same time, it's hard to hear what you need to hear, and the static can get very loud. But to do what you're supposed to do, whatever your purpose is, you've got to get quiet and hear and listen. So, yeah, I've made some career choices that maybe not a lot of people would make. I was originally, for example, supposed to do Thoroughly Modern Millie on Broadway, and I got offered a TV show. It was a huge hit called Kristin. Like 3 people saw it. But thank you, you were the one. Thank you. But it taught me how to act in front of a camera. And it created a new star with Sutton playing the role. And then I grew and got to do some other things. So it all happens the way it's supposed to.
It all happens the way it's supposed to, as does this album Coming Home. This is a multifaceted album. You run the gamut. How did you choose the song list for this album?
Well, as you can see, since there's 18 tracks, I didn't do a very good job at picking. I wanted to sing sort of the journey of my life. So there's gospel, and there's a song on there I did since I've been about 10 years old, and that's where I invited my Broken Arrow High School choir to come join me, and there was 40 of them. There was 8. We didn't even have enough to have a choir. We called ourselves the Madrigals. So now there's 40 up there singing with me, and the past couple years, I've been inviting a person in the audience, usually a young girl, to sing For Good from Wicked with me. And this time I got to pick a little Oklahoma girl. I love disco. I grew up listening to Diana, Barbra Streisand, singing Enough is Enough. And I did that. I've done Bring 'Em Home from Les Mis because that was my favorite show growing up. And of course, it's sung by the lead male, which is interesting that Therapy was why I'm in therapy. But yeah, I sang from Phantom of the Opera. I sang Little Sparrow, a song that Dolly Parton wrote that I wish I could have sung to my younger self over heartbreak. You know, it runs the gamut. It may not be for everyone, but anybody that sees it will know a little bit more of who I am. It's not just Wicked or Glee or Pushing Daisies or West Wing. It's a woman and a friend and a daughter and sure a Christian, a girl who likes to have a good time, who's been hurt, who's done the hurting. It's that. It's
and
everything.
And stands up for what she believes in, even when there might be very loud voices. Your voice is louder. You might be little, but she packs a big punch in this little body.
Thank you, honey.
It's fantastic. Now, you mentioned that you might not have done a good job picking out 18 songs. Many people would disagree because by having these songs, people can see parts of them that they love and learn parts about you they might not have known. Of course, we can't have a conversation about this CD without talking about Wicked, right? Now, one of the great things is that you have this wonderful song where you sing Wicked in multiple languages. I think you call it Around the World with Galinda.
Yes.
How hard was it for you to perfectly learn the languages so you present it in a manner that is beautiful to listen to?
Thank you. I've been singing popular for 11 years, and I've realized that when I'm in concert and I don't sing it, that I take my life into my own hands. So I was wondering about how to keep it fresh. And I went online one night, as many lonely people do when we're in bed, and Madeline Kahn, my dog, and I looked, and we saw all these different languages of Wicked.
Wait, really quickly, when we finish this story, talk to us about Madeline Kahn.
Madeline Kahn Chenoweth is my dog, yeah. She's a little white Maltese. I love her to death. Named after one of my favorite actors, singers. But we were watching the computer, and I saw the German alphabet and Glinda and the Japanese and Chinese, and so I decided why not keep it fresh and represent. So I would say I'm best at German. I'm worst at Japanese. I recently added Italian at the end, or Italian, as we say in Oklahoma. But I'm probably best at that. But yeah, the Japanese needs some work.
I love it. Well, the work will continue because I don't think you're going to get away without singing that song for quite some time. It's going to be a part of your repertoire.
I hate to guess what it's going to be like when I'm 80. You know?
Oh, I think it's going to be great. At this point, you'll know 50 languages.
Good,
so
I hope
will go
so.
on for 1 hour. But what you just said when you said, I was looking on YouTube, I was seeing all of these things. You're going back to Broken Arrow. You're including these children. Do you ever just think about how fortunate you were to have these opportunities to go after these things? In the recent issue of Live Happy, which everyone has a copy of right there on their seats right there, you talk about your journey and how you never let yourself lead with your looks, but you took the opportunities that were available. Again, I'm from Southern girl. I was Miss Virginia. I get it. And so you realized that you needed to find a way to get your talent out there, and you competed for Miss Oklahoma. What was that like? That actually really was a catalyst for you to be seen, to get out there internationally.
I love that question because, if you're not from the South, you think of, you think of, toddlers and tiaras, right? I'd never really done pageants, but as a birthright, when we come out of the womb, we're supposed to do it. We come out with the crown and heels already on. But I needed a place to perform. Remember, Glee hadn't happened yet. It was not cool to be in choir or drama. Like, there was me and a couple other kids. I'm surprised we could even do a play. So the pageant was a way for me to perform. And I said I wanted to be Miss America, but what I really wanted to do was sing and get an agent. So I entered the Miss Oklahoma pageant, and I entered Miss OCU and won. And one of the biggest lessons I learned during that pageant was, boy, did I feel tall, as long as I wasn't standing by anybody else. And I learned that I needed to feel tall inside, no matter if I was standing next to Shaquille O'Neal in life. So who do you compete with, right? The usual suspects that you see at the auditions, sure, but really who you compete with is yourself. So that is a lesson that I still learn. I still get rejected in this business. I'm not complaining. I have a good life. But I've been told no and am told no. And I remember that it's just me. It's my talent, and if it's not this choice that they want something else. And one time, it'll be my turn. I've tried to tell young girls that though I like makeup and I like my Jimmy Choos and I like clothes and like my hair extensions, I think it's important to find what you're special at and lead with that. And that's what my mother taught me and what I like to pass on to other kids.
That's fantastic. And you're very special at so many things, not just singing, but also acting. These things are all entwined. And you've made your way from theater to TV and film. We've got a great new movie coming out in January of J-Lo, The Boy Next Door. What can we expect? This is very exciting.
I love her. I love her so. It's a thriller. It's the kind of movie I've been kind of wanting to do. I have a dark side to me.
Very dark.
I love like Paranormal Activity movies and Insidious. I love horror films. But to work with her, somebody that I admire, that's a strong, single, talented, perfectionist, professional woman. Again, it's those constant lessons. We were just talking about in the car on the way over here about why is it so hard to be grateful for in all things. It's biblical. Be grateful in all things, really. Why not just the good stuff? But Dolly Parton says it the best, and I love her too. She's my favorite. Her, Kel Burnett, Melanchon. Anyway, she said to get to the rainbow, you have to have the rain. So it's a lesson. Again, I'm still learning. I'm still having to remind myself and be grateful in all things.
Being grateful in all things is extremely important, and we're grateful that you're here with us. I don't want to take up any more time because I know there's so many questions from you in the audience. There's a hand that just went up right there. You are so excited. We're going to get a microphone to you so you can ask your question right away. Thank you for being here.
Do I stand? Oh, That's a little loud. Well, first off, I just want to say I made Kristin a bedazzled care package filled with her favorite things.
What's in there?
Okay.
I see Twix and Snickers.
Twix and Snickers.
Oh my God, you're a man after my own heart.
Pick-me-up cards,
For
a little
a
coat
Maddie.
for Maddie.
I see something for Madeline.
Father's and daughter picture I took at Carnegie Hall.
Thank you so much.
A little scarf.
You're going to make me cry.
So, lots of stuff. But my question for you, Kristin, I honestly feel, and I think a lot of people do, you are a modern-day Dorothy. And you really are going on your Yellow Brick Road journey. In The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy meets the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Lion. They teach her brains, heart, and courage. Who are 3 people that you've encountered so far on your Yellow Brick Road and the virtue that they've taught you?
Would you like to take my seat right here, sir? I applaud you, and I look forward to this answer.
Brains, you just gave me goosebumps. That's a great question. Okay, mister. I'm going to say from the brains part of it, my father was raised with nothing until he was 12 years old. He had a bathroom outside. His daddy, my grandpa, was a farmer and the town barber. He was a sharecropper, which means he didn't even own the farm the land that he farmed. My dad is a self-made man. Our motto has been work hard, play hard. And when I was a little girl, he said, I don't care what I have to do, but you will go to college and you will get a degree. I don't care if it's in basket weaving, but you're going to have a degree, my child. So I got my brains because my father was a self-made man and got me through college. I got my heart from my mom, who is an emotional woman, much like myself. Lots of us women, we get it, right? She, in the tough times, would hug me and tell me she loved me. And in the times when I was being a little bit, having a pity party, she'd suck it up. So she taught me to look at people who have less than me or us and love them. Love all kinds of people, all kinds. Anybody different, love them more. That seems different. So I got my heart from my mom. My courage, I think that might be a combo platter. I was adopted, so I think it's partly just in my DNA of just going out there and putting it out there. But a performer that I've always admired that is so brave, and I grew up watching her because my parents had her on TV and made us laugh, was Carol Burnett. Now, as an adult, I go back and I look at what she's done back then and even now. She's the most brave, courageous performer ever alive. She jumped through hoops, literally. She has jumped out of windows. She came down a huge staircase with a curtain rod on her head. I think that's brave because it's a risk. What if it's not funny? What if I'm not funny? What if I fail? So I admire her for her courage. So them 3. Thank you. Good question.
I see another question
I have a
right
mic.
You have a mic? Is this your
Hi,
chance?
darling.
Anybody with a mic can talk.
I mean,
I
come
love
on.
how the Southerners have just come out here. Hi, darling. How's it going? This is New York City.
I'm from Staten Island.
You were just posing.
But
I really like people from Staten Island, you know. Really
when I get mad, it comes out.
I love it.
No, I'm Lucas Brady from Twitter. We talk on Twitter sometimes.
Oh, you're Lucas Brady from Twitter.
First of all, I wanted to thank you just for everything. While you said you inspire young girls, you also inspire me and a lot of other young gay men out there.
Thank you.
Because we look to you and you completely have invented yourself. And, there is a level of, fame that comes with that, but you completely stand for who you are, and that inspires me. And I'm a young actor, but that gets me going every day. And every time I go to an audition, I think about you.
Oh, that is that
I
makes
do.
my
And
whole day.
Yeah, I mean, it's how we get through. People like you.
Thank you.
My question is kind of like his, but it's a little less steep. It's more, not that there's anything wrong with it. But if there were 3 things about New York City that you can change, what would they be? So that's kind of, maybe I just contradicted myself.
Okay, I think there would be, and it's getting better. And I really do appreciate it in New York, but I'd like to see a 7-Eleven on more corners. I know I'm at 52nd and 8th all the time, but there's Starbucks in every corner. I'd love to see 7-Eleven following that path. I would love, I love what Bloomberg did with the city bikes, but I just feel like we put a man on the moon. We have, God, flat screen TVs. Why can't the traffic situation be better? I guess I don't understand. I'm no genius, but I just know there's got to be a way. What is it? What is it? And I think the third thing. This is a little weird because I'm a slight germaphobe. I would like to see more Purell hand sanitizers just randomly put throughout the city.
Did you include a Purell sanitizer in your kit?
You know what? I almost did.
That's okay. I have 15.
My goodness.
I have one in every purse.
I see a lovely question back there. Hello. Okay, the mic's right there. Excuse me. I apologize. You next. There's
Hi.
the mic.
Hi, sorry. First of all, hello. Hi, I'm Kate. And once again, I just want to start this off by just saying thank you for being such an amazing inspiration. Without you, I would still be sitting in my bedroom at home wondering what life is like. I'm like you. I grew up as a Christian, and it was kind of hard for me to, especially coming to New York, everything's a little different. And it's
Slightly.
hard, a little bit. And it's hard to combine everything, and I was so scared to, put that out there and tell people because I know it doesn't always have a positive reaction to it. And now, I came to New York, and I'm working in the field that I'm really just proud of and happy about. And I feel like you were really my inspiration for that. And what I wanted to ask you is that how do you continue just having that after you feel like you're going where you feel like you need to go, that you stay grounded, and that even though I'm happy I'm at New York and I'm happy I'm working at Elle Magazine, that I'm happy that I'm here, but I just need to remember to be thankful and not lose that connection with God and my family and everything like that, because it's the last thing I want to do.
First of all, you're not alone. On the way over here, we were talking about this jar, this thankful jar, that every time something good happens to you, write it down and put it in a jar, and at the end of the year, pull it out so you can remember. Like, for example, today will be one of the things I write to put in my thankful jar. It helps you remember what has happened to you throughout the years. Now, as far as faith goes, I never thought that I was different or weird being a Christian because I grew up in the Bible Belt. In fact, if you weren't, that was weird. But I moved here, and I remember my first boyfriend was Jewish, and I was like, I've never met a Jewish man, You too. But what New York did for me, which I think is such a positive thing, is it opened my view that there are other people that believe differently, that's okay, and we're still the same. We're all God's children, is what I believe. I also think living your true, authentic life. No one can fault you for living your true, authentic life. And no one can fault you for your faith in whatever it is. I've met atheists before, and they say, maybe you're right. Maybe there is a God. I'm like, why not believe? If you have a choice, no life after death, life after death. Might as well, even if I'm wrong, might as well, I had a great conversation one time with a famous actor friend of mine, and he said, how do you really believe you came from Adam's rib? I said, well, I do, but say I'm wrong. Say we came from a particle of dust, or, I don't know, an ape. Who made it? Something greater made it. But really the most important thing to do is when you're living in this world and in this industry, in any industry, be your authentic self. And anybody that judges you, do you really want them in your life anyways? I don't. And I'll tell you something. I don't judge anybody else for anybody who believes differently from me. That's them. And maybe I can learn something from them. How many different types of Muslims are there? What if we just judge them all like Osama? Wouldn't that be wrong? So open your mind, open your heart, keep praying, and keep living your authentic self. That's my thing.
Hi, Kristin.
Hi.
I'm Anya. I met you in Long Island when you performed in February. I almost got to sing for good with you.
Oh, I should have picked you.
You should have. One day, hopefully, I'll have the honor of sharing the stage with you. That would be amazing. But my question is...
I loved that concert, by the way. I loved being there in that.
Oh, it was so
theater.
much fun. It was wonderful. You were amazing. Thanks. And you're amazing in Carnegie Hall, too. That was awesome.
You.
Yes. My question is, what is your dream role, or have you already played it?
Well, my favorite role I've ever played thus far, sort of like the glass half full role, has been Candid, Cunegonde, because I love Leonard Bernstein, Lillian Hellman, the whole situation of that story. It embodied the vocal training of a coloratura, and it also was comedic, and it also was heartfelt. Glass half empty part, what's left? You know, On the 20th Century has been a role on my bucket list for a long time. It happens to be that's what's next. I think maybe after that, I would love to play. I'm dabbling with Tammy Faye Baker and Dolly Parton. I think those are very interesting women that I admire a lot. Dolly knows how I feel about her.
Has Dolly given you the blessing to play her?
She has said that before on many occasions. I'm lacking, I always say I'm lacking a couple things, but that can be fixed on Madison Avenue. Anyway, I don't know that the role's been written yet, but one that I'm really looking forward to, and it's like a mountain in front of me, is 20th Century, because again, it's operatic in nature. I'll have to do that 8 times a week. But the physical comedy is also insane. So please pray for me.
And really quickly, just so people know, that's your return to Broadway.
Yeah.
This is really exciting. On 20th Century is something that we all have to look forward to. I think we have time for a couple more questions. All right.
Hey, Kristin.
Hi.
So a great follow-up question is, you've played a lot of great roles. If you could go back and play any role just one more time, TV, movie, or Broadway, what role would you do one more time?
That's so hard.
You can pick 2 or 3 if you need.
Can I pick 2? Okay. On stage and then on TV. I'll do that. On stage, The Apple Tree, without question. I loved it. It's the woman has to play 4 different roles, but to me, one of the most perfect sets of musical theater writing with a play is The Adam and Eve, Act 1. So that would be that. On TV, I have to say, I miss Olive Snook from Pushing Daisies so much because, first of all, she had a great haircut. And secondly, she was the underdog. And it's hard to believe this, but I actually understand what it's like not to be able to see over the counter. And I think that there was something so lovable about her. She kind of said what we all think, and I just miss her. Thank you for that.
We appreciate you saying what you think and being here with us today. Coming Home. It's available now. We're very much looking forward to not only listening to it, but also watching you on PBS.
Yes, you can watch the show.
This is going to be incredible.
I'm so excited about that.
You can read more about Kristin in the magazine that's on your seats, Live Happy, and this will always be available on AOL.com. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.